So Anna sent in a VOD. They are a 90 hours bronze 1 Jeff at the time of sending this in. I want a chat. Do you think they're going to be better than bronze, or do you think they deserve bronze? Just guess. No, we have no idea whether this person is good or bad. We have no idea whether this person is, you know, whatever. Off of vibes alone, do you think this Jeffy is a bronze gamer? What do they do in spawn? This is very important. Okay. Oh my god, it's a masterpiece. They're a GM Smurf, everyone. They're a GM Smurf. There ain't no bronze player that could land such a perfect spray there. Crazy aim. They sped their team. We're the red team, by the way. Yeah, so they're speeding their Venom. Interesting choice to speed Venom. He's fast. If you're gonna speed people up, speed up like Emma's. Because Emma, look at her. Look at her. She's hefty. She's got a lot of weight to carry. So you should be speeding up Emma's, not Venom's. Because Venom's can just speed themselves up. You're using your goo. I forget to do this all of the time. Great start. They did bubble out of spawn. Okay, you've rotated out of line of sight. You're not healing your team. Okay, something that I will say, you're getting away with it because it's in bronze. You're spending a lot of time doing not a lot with your healing. Like, you're either shooting along here, you got shot and panicked and went around this corner for a while. Like, it's fine because you're in bronze. People aren't killing people hyper quick. But if this was a higher elo lobby, you would struggle because they would be blowing people up faster, basically. If you want a really easy tip that will immediately help you improve just off of this first few seconds, try to always be putting out some type of value, whether that's healing, distraction, pressure, space control, supporting the other support, that type of thing. Always be doing something, because right now you've got quite a while where you're not doing a lot. I'm going to be watching these bubbles as well, because this is about to start ticking up to 3, and there's never a reason to have 3 bubbles. I'm hoping to see you use some bubbles. There's lots of teammates here that aren't in a safe position. You can see here, these guys are probably going to take damage. These guys, one of them has took damage, and the other one is going to take damage, probably. So if you throw some bubbles on them, your other support, your Luna, will be able to heal more effectively as well. Look at your Fantastic. Fantastic can survive a long time. If you top him up, he's gonna survive even longer. Good. Bubbles. You've got 3 bubbles right now. Never have 3 bubbles. Ever. There is never a situation to have 3 bubbles. Ever. Throw them out. Drop one at your feet. Throw one into the middle of the fight. Throw one onto him. Doesn't matter. Never have 3 bubbles. They increase the speed of your allies. They increase the healing they receive. They are a phenomenal tool, even in their reworked form. Never have 3 of them. Because right now, because you're holding 3 bubbles, you aren't regenerating another. So you're losing value. People make jokes in my chat that I don't like having bubbles, because I will always try to only have 1 bubble. If I have more than 1 bubble, I'm probably looking for a reason to use it. Always keep your bubbles out. How do you use bubbles on yourself? Drop them at your feet. Look down and drop it. Aqua bursts? You should be using Aqua bursts, but also holding them isn't the worst. Because let's say you get dove, they take a while to regenerate. They're your defensive tool. You can use them aggressively. I will quite often weave them in, especially in something like this Penny is on half health. If you start plinking her, she'll panic. But I'm not as harsh on people for holding Aqua bursts, because I do understand why you would hold them. You shouldn't ideally always have 3, but unlike bubbles, Aqua bursts have a very narrow and specific use. Knock things around, do damage. Those are the use cases. You can use them to, say, knock a Hulk out of his jump. If a Wolverine is kidnapping someone and you hit them whilst they're kidnapping someone, it cancels the steal. So you do have situations where this Wolverine, maybe he tries to kidnap someone and you hit the Wolverine in the air and they'll drop whoever they're holding currently. But in most situations, I won't give people a lot of shit for their Aqua burst management. There is a best way to use them. It's not something I think about. One, two. You threw your bubbles out in the same place. Now, one of them clipped the Emma. I don't think you did this on purpose. I think you got lucky. One of your bubbles clipped Emma and one didn't. Either way, that's fine because one went further in, one sat on the Emma. I do that all the time. If I get 3 bubbles, I will throw one further and hit one of my closer allies. What I would say is, it would have been more useful to throw a bubble at the Luna and then throw one over there. The reason being, Emma is a tank on full health. She isn't going to die instantly. Luna she's a support, she could get blown up, and she is your main support. She is going to do most of the healing in the game, meaning you really want to keep her alive, because if she dies, you're going to have a hard time keeping the team up. I like to try to bubble my supports as much as possible, because that extra 15% healing works on their self-heal. So Luna's clap, Luna's new team up, they will also be buffed by the bubbles passive healing increase. They'll also get a speed boost, helping with mobility to stay alive, and they will also get that regeneration, which can be very helpful. If you think Luna's OP, imagine Luna with a 15% healing buff on herself, and then also more movement speed, and also naturally regenerating health. It lasts for 4 seconds. You can basically permanently give her this buff if you want to. When is it smart to go out of my way to heal someone, like if they are flanking or off to... If they're doing value, if they're making value and they would die or have to peel back otherwise. If it's a Spider-Man that's 0 and 10, don't just fucking ignore him. Healing him at that point isn't helpful. If it's a very valuable person like this Luna who is off on the flank, she's not flanking, but she's on the flank, I would say healing her is essential. Heal her over healing the Emma. Heal her over healing the magic. It's very context dependent, and you're never going to get one answer for it. Another thing you could be doing is focusing out this Penny. You still have 3 Aqua bursts, right? You do. Light this Penny up. Just start shooting her. She's massively overextended. Think about it. If you were stood here as a support or even as a solo tank surrounded by their teammates, I'd be having to do. I'd be saying that's bad positioning. Look at her. She's got a wall behind her. She has to walk all the way around. She's got 2 of your allies on that side, 2 of your allies here. Sorry, you and one of your allies there. You blow this Penny up in a second. So you should either be focusing her out or focusing surviving the Luna. Ideally, you throw a bubble here, you throw a bubble there, and then you focus the Penny. So I hope to see you blow her up now. You won't blow her up, but you know what I mean. Bully her. Spit at her. Wrong type of spit. Just like how I say you should never have 3 bubbles, you should only ever have 0 bubbles if you've used one on yourself. Because you need that regeneration and movement speed for your survivability as Jeff. Dropping to 0 bubbles is dangerous unless you know you're safe. You're using goo, good. Okay, you play very safe. You're a very heal-orientated Jeff. I would have went in on that Penny, or I'd be flanking off to go after this invisible woman. Both of them are tasty targets. You don't really need to attack the Penny right now. She's dead. Go after the invisible woman, or swim up this wall, drop down, and pressure the Phoenix. My point is right now, you know how we spoke about invisible value the other days? This is value that looks like it's value, but it's actually not. You're doing something, but it's actually doing nothing. You're healing your team. They're at full health. They're not under any threat. And you're helping kill someone that's going to die either way. Either peel off and attack her, or pressure the Wolverine to guarantee no one drops it. Because whilst it's unlikely he wins, if he has his passive up, he could probably trade for one of these. Maybe the magic if they play badly. Because of the Phoenix's pressure. But like this... Yeah, that Penny was always going to die. Okay, that Wolverine was attacking a wall. Like, fully, that Wolverine was just after that wall. You don't need to run from her. She's by herself. Go up there and kill her. Jeff has swim. Use your swim. Do you know what that is? It's a fin. Use it. Swim. Swim, little shark. Swim. You see this? Shift. Click it. You'll dive under the ground. You can then swim up walls. And you can use that mobility to fight people. Right now, you're fine. Like, there's not much you can do here. Like, I would be getting more aggressive, but like, there's not much need. Throw a bubble, like, here. The reason I say that, if somehow they flank her, she can move towards the team and pick it up. If you need to back up quickly, you can pop it, giving you both a speed boost. Throw bubbles sometimes when you don't want them to be... sometimes when you don't want a bubble to be used, but you do know you don't want to reach the cap, put them in places where you pop them if you need them, or your teammates can pop them if you need them. Imagine it like a mini health kit with a different use. Put it where you'll need it for future. Why did they ult there? Wild. This is fine. Try not to get cut off from your team. So, like, I know it's tempting to walk backwards here so you don't get cut off from point, but you really want to be with your team. Your team is effectively playing 2 people down because Fantastic is dead and you're cut off from them until you move around. Magic's a flanker. She's doing flanker things. But, like, you aren't with your team at the moment. You might as well be dead. This wall isn't going to suddenly heal. So you need to try not to move back out of the point there. Stay with the team. You want to be with the team, especially if you're playing heal, Jeff, like you are at the moment. It does look like you're going to rotate, which is good. The heal left. Heal left. Okay. You have a bubble and Emma was dying. Bubble? Emma dying? You know how I said you should always try to have one bubble for yourself? You might have been able to keep her alive there. She's next to a lunar ultimate that's going off. If you bubble her and she gets that speed boost, she probably made it into the lunar ultimate. Now the lunar's on damage currently, but you can't plan for when other players make mistakes. You can only plan for when you do, right? So if she dies here, if we go back, was she in the lunar ultimate? She was. The lunar's just staying on damage. Oh. Wait, can we just watch this? Sorry, 1 minute. So you get cut off. Luna and Emma, you know, fighting back. Luna's gonna ult because they're under threat, yeah? She ults to survive. Damage boosting. She chokes. She's going aggressive because she's got the Luna ult. That's smart. The Luna's not gonna let her die. She never swaps to healing. Okay, maybe, guys, maybe it is your ranked teammates. Maybe when I tell you that you should focus on yourself, I'm underestimating the issue. What was that? Okay, well, hypothetically, right? We'll make it a learning experience. This Emma was always going to die because she wasn't doing her job. But let's say the Emma was stood just outside of this, yeah? You're holding one bubble at this corner, drop it on her, and then keep healing her. She's now getting about 150 something healing per second from you. And she has speed boost, which means she will get into the healing circle faster and be more likely to survive. Or, even if that isn't there, she's more likely to be able to reposition properly to survive. Yeah, ignoring team play because you are the only thing that you can focus on improving. You have a bubble. You have 1 bubble when the Emma dies and you don't use it. In fact, you're going to regenerate up to 3 here. You should bubble yourself immediately when you're in a fight like this. You should be... you're stalling point now. I see why you aren't diving. You're stalling point. Where is it? You see here? They don't own any of the point. They're just capturing it now. So, when you dive, it doesn't immediately end the point. Like, they don't get it immediately. So you can sort of drop a bubble, dive into it, swim for a second to heal, jump back out, drop a bubble, dive into it, you know? Move around, it increases your mobility, it helps you survive a little bit more. And it's you would have survived longer. You were always going to die here. Dying on point is the smart thing to do because your team's dead. Although, a lot of them have respawned. Because I'm pausing it constantly, I'm losing track of time. It looks to me like you would have been better actually, instead of stalling out point for this long, trying to survive. Because now, when you die, you've got all 4 of your team here are alive already. The Venom's going to run in and stagger himself in a second, I'm sure. You needed to pull out, I think, was the right play here. In a situation or a context where your team isn't alive yet and they've just died, dying on point is the right decision. But if your team has already respawned, you staggering means they are now 1 person down and either have to push in 1 person down or wait longer. Either way, depending on the situation, you would either have wanted to bubble and dive to survive for longer, or bubble and dive and swim the fuck out of here to survive. But you die, which is fine. You stagger the team though. Right, you're healing your team. You've got your ultimate. Be careful ulting around penny mines. They will blow you up immediately. Whilst you are doing the sort of animation of coming out of the ground and you regain mortality, you don't get to move away before the mines hit you. The mines will trail towards you and kill you before you get to move. So if you're going to ult, make sure you do not ult with where you come out of the water in the penny mines. This invis, if she was better, she just double jumped actually. I just saw that, didn't I, a second ago. She just double jumped so she can't escape it herself, but that's fine. So why are we putting ourselves with all this wasted space though, right? You want to cover as much area as you can. If you want to get both of their supports, come like here, center it like there-ish. You're going for two characters that can get out of it depending on their reaction speed. You're in bronze though. I'm going to assume they won't react fast enough to get out of it. So you come into the middle, you get them both. They don't have any supports for the fight now, right? Yeah, they're playing duo support. They don't have any. Here, you're going to try get a penny and an invis. Problem, I don't think you get the penny. Penny can dodge it very easily with her web. And she's also on the edge. If you wanted to get the penny, you would have had to have the nest destroyed first to guarantee it. Yeah, I think I would have went with the supports. Although, you have one DPS, one tank, and you. The fight's kind of rough. You've also got a lever. Somebody disconnected. Your other support. It's rough to ult right now because your one support's disconnected, meaning you're the only team's healing. So you're leaving your Venom and your Winter to deal with one of their DPS and both of their tanks, and then because you're only going to get the invis in the ult, one support as well. Unless you get the penny and I'm wrong. No, she just walks out of it, yeah. Do you make it? No, yeah. So you swam towards the edge there. I wouldn't have done that. The invis can always jump back on and you don't want to trade 1-for-1 because you were the only support. They'd still have a support. You wouldn't have any supports, so the 1-for-1 wouldn't have been worth it anyway. When you're one down and you are the only support as Jeff, you are a heal bot. You have no choice. Why aren't you swimming? You should be swimming. Try to get back to point quicker. You've got an entire part of your kit that you're ignoring. Jeff is one of the most mobile characters in the game, and if you don't swim, you're just kneecapping yourself. Bubbles. You've got bubbles. Use them. Your resource usage isn't great. You're not using your resources as much as you can, and when you do use them, you sort of just empty them. It's like you forget that you have buttons, and then you remember to use them all at once. Like, there's some parts of this that are really good. You're not running it down, you're playing reasonably safely, but, like, you're forgetting to use abilities, and you're not using your resources very effectively. Position to the left. Right now, you're positioned here. That looks great and all. Imagine if you were like positioned over here behind the Namor. You've got like this big line of sight. The Namor could shuffle in because the Namor right now is stood here. But when the fight extends, he's going to move up, right? So if you're positioned further along here, you can heal both your tanks and you can be pressuring the penny nest, the penny, the rocket if you want, the invis, the Emma. You can be doing a lot more from this position where you have a line of sight over most of the point and most of your team. Over this position where you have very limited line of sight over this section of your team and this section of the point, when you'd be far better to the left, I think. So I'm not even going to suggest my dumb idea. Notice how the Namor did exactly what I said. He wanted to get a better view of the point, so he shuffled over. Now, he did shuffle over quite far. He's not playing the cover the way I thought he would, but he did shuffle over. You should be looking to heal right now. I can see that face. That face is the face of a spitting Jeffrey. I don't want to see no spitting. I want to see I want to see a blowing. I want to see lots of blowing. I don't want to see a single spit right now. Okay, you just reacted slowly there. That was all. Because it's 1, 2. You didn't dive. Remember, you become CC immune when you're diving. You can become immune to this ultimate. It will still damage you, but you won't get CC'd by it. So dive, dive, dive. Why are you attacking? Dive. You aren't gonna kill her. She's got over half her health. Dive, and then you're in. See what I mean? Bubble and dive. I've never seen a Jeff allergic to swimming before. Do you need me to get you some floaties and put you in a swimming pool? What is going on here? Why are you so scared of water? Swim more. And, okay, well, why are you walking straight into... What the fuck? What is this? What have you sent me? What was that? I get it. You wanted to touch for overtime, and sometimes you do literally you intentionally die to get overtime because you know you're gonna die, but you want to get that extra 5%, and you have a disconnect, so you're probably feeling a bit down about it. But you know where you would have survived a lot longer? Okay, we keep swimming, keep swimming, keep swimming. Great, great, great. You go over here. Over here. Now, you don't know these mines are here, but that's fine. You're Jeffrey. Jeffrey can swim through mines fast enough. If you hit them, if you go through them with a bubble and swimming, you get through them before they go off. So you get on point. Yeah. You get over the mines and you survive. What you don't do is walk onto the mines that will 100% kill you because you're just walking. Like, you were never going to live this. But, like, you could have lived a little bit longer and put a little bit more effort into surviving. Like, this is the face of a Jeffrey who's got a disconnect and doesn't want to play the game right now. If you're just trying to touch really desperately, in this situation, you were going to lose anyway. You're 5 versus 6. The team isn't even close. But you still want to touch. Fine. Best practice. You know, pretend there's a Spider-Man on the way. Pretend they're portaling. For future games, don't walk onto the mines. You don't know there's mines here. Bubble and swim over them just in case. Because again, Jeff with a bubble and swimming can swim over mines without dying. Here, you walk onto mines! But anyway, this round was fucked. It was a fucked round. You were never gonna win. You were never gonna save it. You were just trying to touch. You were just playing until the bitter end, and I respect that. In other games, try to avoid walking straight onto the main part of the penny mine. Bubbles, great. You don't even need to swim, to be fair. Right now, you're in the middle of the team, speeding them up. Great. You don't actually need to bubble. Because you're with the team. Like, you don't actually need to speed. You don't need to swim. Because you're with the team. Being ahead of them doesn't help. You're not playing aggressive, so you don't want to be ahead of them. You want to be with them. You're helping speed them up. So you don't need to be speedy right now. And yeah, just keep bubbling your team. But focus the Groot. He's slow. This Emma. Drop a bubble behind you for the Emma, because she's trailing, so you want to try and get her to catch up. Because she's struggling to keep up. Look how far behind your Emma is, though. As Jeff, at the beginning of a game, especially if you're going to play with a team, your job is to make sure your team gets to point as fast as possible. Think about Season 1 of Overwatch, or most of Overwatch's competitive lifespan. Lucio was always meta, no matter what they did for him, in competitive, Lucio was always meta because having the speed boost on your team was incredibly valuable. Now, obviously, Jeff's speed boost isn't as powerful because you need to top it up and its AoE isn't as big and there's a million reasons. But at the start of a game, when your team is all bundled together, you want to speed boost everyone and then you want to speed boost the slowest people. Now, this Emma is slow. Speed boost her. The Groot is slow. Speed boost her. You need to be keeping your team together because right now your tank, who should be in the front lines, is way in the back. All right, let's see what you do now. Your Groot's AFK having a think. You've lost line of sight of one of your frontliners. Either flank or move around. This position isn't helpful. Where would I position on this point? Up here's fine. Obviously opposite side's fine, depending on what you're trying to do. I like to come up here or over here. Even though you don't have as good of line of sight to your team, it lets me be more aggressive. If you want to be safe and to just heal, playing on this sort of stairsy area around here is fine. This point is really annoying to play because unlike other points where if it was flat, you could shoot across to get line of sight over everyone, you can't do that here because it dips and then goes back up. So you're never going to be hitting this invisible woman and healing this Emma at the same time. It just isn't possible, whereas on a normal point it would be. So you want to find a position that just lets you get as much value as possible. You're a healer, Jeff. You're doing a lot of healing. So you want to be in a position to keep these guys alive. That's fine. You're doing fine. This position is better. I wonder how often Raven is told to get off Jeff. I mean, I stream 90% of my ranked games, so you see it's basically every other game. This positioning's fine. Keep using your bubbles. Maybe ping at the end. You've got free Aqua burst. Maybe fire into the penny a little bit. I always fall into that gap as well. Get aggressive right now. Not the aggression. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's the blue side ultimate. Yeah, ult. That was close. So the reason you didn't die there from ulting in... Oh, wait, because you've left it. I can't see it. Yeah. So the reason you didn't die when you came up into this penny nest, your team... The reason it didn't kill you is because your team has already eaten some of the mines. I don't know the exact number anymore. I used to know it when I was a penny main, but I don't anymore. So we're going to say the maximum number is 15. And let's say it needs 5 to kill you. It might have had like 4 mines in it. And that's because your team's eaten some of them for you. But you got lucky. Try not to ult onto a penny nest like this. You're really gambling. Unless you know your team can destroy it before you ult, or has eaten the mines out of it for you, / has been eating the mines out of it for you. Now, do you throw him back on? You throw them off? That's fine. Not diving was the correct answer, because otherwise you're leaving Adam solo heals, and he'll struggle with that. I don't think going to the left is the right answer, though. I think you just turn around here. She's not going to fucking kill you. She missed a bunch of shots on you when you were swimming. Kill her. She's not that scary. It's a 1v1. It's the best time to learn to be aggressive. Or, if you want to turn around, don't go all the way over here. Remember, you can swim. Yep. What else can you do whilst you're swimming? You can swim up walls. You don't need to take the stairs. You're a shark. Swim up this wall. It would have been quicker. That's true. Any character can work if you're good enough. Bubble. Good, good, good bubble. Make sure you're healing. You've got another bubble. I'd honestly throw it out. That's fine. That happens. Sometimes, look here. Watch, wait. Are you in any danger? At all? No. The enemy team just isn't going to threaten you at the moment. Even if this guy starts shooting you, you just move to the left. You are in 0 danger of death. There is literally no character in the game right now that can kill you. No one. Full health, Jeff cannot be one-shot by any character at long range. Widow can't one-shot him at long range, and neither can Hawkeye. Neither of them can one-shot him. So, bubble this group of allies. Why? The Adam will then get a healing buff to everyone because they're all going to have the 15% healing increase. They'll get passive regeneration. They'll get more speed boost. Do you understand? I'm going to keep saying it all game. Use your fucking bubbles, especially when they're in a group. Because right now it would hit the 3 of them. They'd all get more. They'd all get more healing. They'd all get regeneration. They'd all be faster. Use your fucking bubbles. Sometimes if I'm healing the front line and I notice the other support is low, I will throw a bubble onto them just so I don't have to stop healing the front line. Use your fucking bubbles. If this ticks up to 3 and you haven't used a bubble, use your bubble. Thank you. Oh my god. You just couldn't get it out and then it all came out at once. What happened? Anna! Anna! You just held on to all 3 and then you hit 3 and just burst them everywhere. Anna! Why? Anna, you threw them all at a full health group. And then he picked up 2! They don't stack! They reset! If you hit someone with 2 bubbles in the same second, they keep the same amount of healing and everything. Nothing changes. If somebody has picked up a bubble, and then 1 second later they pick up a bubble, guess what happens? Nothing. It goes back up to 4 seconds. You can't stack bubbles for like 8 seconds of healing. It doesn't work like that. It'd be really cool if it did. It doesn't though. Unfortunately, him picking up 2 bubbles like that was a massive waste. And you could argue it's his fault for picking up 2 bubbles. I'd argue it's your fault for throwing all of your bubbles out in 1 tiny corner as soon as you hit 3 bubbles. What you should have done is bubble about 5 minutes earlier. Moving up with your team here is fine, but guess what? You've got 3 bubbles and there's lots of teammates without much health. Use your fucking bubble. Anna, you little shit. If I see you hold 3 bubbles and then throw them out randomly one more time, I'm going to find out where you live. I'm going to come into your house and I'm going to fill it with bubbles, all right? You're going to come home from where I don't, are you in school? Are you an adult? Do you have a job? Whatever it is you do, whenever you next leave the house, I'm going to sneak in and I'm going to fill it from floor to ceiling with bubbles, all right? All right? So you never fucking do that again. Never do that in front of me again. Never, ever do that in front of me again. All right. So your Groot ults, that's fine. You've got free Aqua Burst. If a Groot is ulting like this, I would drop a bubble in the group, and then I would empty my Aqua Burst into it. Bubble. Literally, just you. You're an adult? Good. Good. Then I'm breaking into your house and filling it with bubbles. They lost line of sight. To a degree, you can argue that it is your fault because you're not keeping line of sight with them, but it is also their fault for overextending. They are massively overextended. You're all overextended, but these guys in particular, crazy overextended. Like, she's literally in line of sight of their spawn. No, too far forward. If you, the most you do here is hold like these corners. Don't push to this door unless you are steamrolling them. Steamrolling. Good, you're using your bubbles. You're using them. You're doing it. Okay, you're not use bubble. Oh my god, I think Anna's learning, everyone. Oh my god, and you bubbled them so they could rotate around faster? I'm so proud. Keep your eyes on Adam. Do not let Adam die. You were doing fairly well. So the thing is here, you're being aggressive, right? Health bar pops up over here. So now you see her. We saw her early. Now you see her, right? You know that this is a character that's, you know, she's a Hela type. She's good at range. She's going to blow you up quite quickly. You're Jeff, though. You're quite hard to kill. You know who isn't hard to kill? Adam. Immobile. Slow. Now, he does have abilities to keep himself alive, but he doesn't do so well into things that blow him up instantly. Because Adam needs to out-sustain a lot of damage with his bursty healing. Here, he can get blown up very quickly. The other option is he uses his tether. That's not so great into things like this. It's a very powerful ability that he'd rather keep. Ideally, you focus the Adam here. You look at Adam and you really focus him. You want to keep him alive. He's your second support. He's your only other support. If he drops, you have to do a lot more work. In terms of healing order, the simple version of it is anyone under current threat, the other support, the rest of your team. That's the very simple version of healing order. If you're ever wondering who should I heal, somebody who is going to die if you stop healing them is always the first. The second is always your other support. You always want to keep your other support alive. And then it's anyone else. So right here, you take your eyes off him for a second to tickle their tank. You're not going to do any real damage to him. You aren't going to really pressure them. And immediately she blows him up. See, just gone. Instantly. You needed to look at Adam. You have bubble. You have bubble. Run. Bubble. Bubble. Good. Die. That's fine. I wouldn't have come down here. If you think about escape routes, right? You're thinking about it? You're up here, right? Where were you when you... Right, so it was out here. Your group's going to start dying. And you do start going in the right direction, right? You start backing off this way. And you want to sit in this doorway. Mostly so if there's anyone here, they don't instantly have line of sight over you. You only have line of sight back and forward. Your Namor's behind you. You're fine. So you sit here. You try to keep your Groot alive. Fine. Why'd you reposition over here, though? Now what happens when Groot dies? You're forced to run this way, right? At which point they're firing down onto you. You'd need to go all the way up here. It's a really big open area for you to have to escape through. Whereas, if you'd have stayed here, where your Namor is incredibly overextended now, you back off around this corner. Your Namor can help defend you maybe. Or you just keep swimming. And look at all these line of sight blockers you have here. You have this that blocks line of sight. You have these corners. Or you could swim up the ramp and go up here, or you can drop down there, or you can go over there. There's so many more escape options here than staying in this big open area. If you're trying to escape a group of people, get out of the open or break line of sight. If you really wanted to stay here, the best thing to do, maybe swim up the wall and move jankily around this edge because it would make it harder to hit you and then curve up onto this. Something like that. Jeff has both really good vertical and horizontal mobility. And you need to use them both. So that doesn't mean just swimming fast in a straight line. It means swim fast in a straight line, but also swim fast upwards. Hi, Lost Sinner. You need to do both to survive. All right? He's not a flyer. He can't just go up and down or side to side in the air, but he can do that on wall. And that can be hard to track sometimes. especially because he's already got small hitbox. You can sort of move really jankily and weirdly, and it makes hitting you really difficult. If you watch me when I dive, I will always be breaking line of sight, swimming up things, dropping back down, diving up and diving down. I make myself a real big pain in the ass to hit. And you need to work on that, because here you swim, I'm pretty sure, in a completely straight line. So you're here, right? This is where you are. If we go like this is where my mouse is right now. When you die, you're there. Right? Basically a straight line. You stayed in a line. You swam in a straight line. Fucking zigzag! Like, move. Don't run in a straight line. It doesn't help. Right now, you're in an awkward position because your team's very shoved up against this wall, so you don't really have the space you want. You're looking to ult. You're being aggressive. I believe you're looking to ult. Yeah. See how easy that was to read? Did you see that, chat? Watch. I watched them move up. They're a backline Jeffy. Anna doesn't want to be in danger. Anna is a very safe player. Anna doesn't want to get shot. Anna doesn't like that. So what does Anna do? Swim straight at them. How do you know they're going to ult? Because Anna, the backline Jeffy that just wants to have a good time and be friends and, you know, be a lovely Jeffy in the backline, is suddenly in your face. So you go, well, Anna's about to ult. And it gives them pre-warning. And you don't need pre-warning. You don't want to help them out dodging a Jeff ult. We already know how easy it is to dodge a Jeff ult. Do you really want to make it easier for them? Don't ult like this. Like, what's the reason here? Have you heard an ability go off that I didn't? Like, did the diamond form or something? Was she in diamond form? What was going on here? So she's down here. Okay, maybe you were doing it because of diamond form, because you are watching her, you watch it end, and maybe it's good, but then you back off again. Okay, so there are a couple of reasons I will generally ult, all right? First reason, to get rid of a specific target. For example, let's say this Emma was solo carrying the team. She's used her diamond form. She no longer has any ability to dodge my ultimate. So I would ult to take out the Emma specifically. If somebody is solo carrying, you focus on that character and you go, okay, they've used their one ability that lets them dodge me, so now I eat them and that's it. That's your job. You might use it to counter an invisible woman's ultimate. They're about the same size. It's a pretty nice fit. The circle goes in the circle hole. It fits. You can force people out of it. You can do it to make space and pressure. For example, over time, you want to pressure them off a point. You ult, they have to spread out. Maybe now they aren't as well, maybe they aren't as in a cohesive position now, or they've got non-ideal positioning because of it. And then there is the fuck it, we ball ultimate, which I think is what you did. You didn't do it to counter the invis ult, but the invis did let you counter her. But that's because she fucked it, to be clear. You're not getting points for this. I know I said you could use it to counter an invisible woman ult, but let's not pretend, Anna. You and I know you had no fucking clue this was gonna happen. You had no idea. You rolled the fucking dice. You said fuck it, we ball, and you went in. Anything could have happened, and you got it. All right. All right. The other type of ult that I didn't mention that Lee keeps telling me I should tell you guys about more is, so I'm known for stalling a little bit. There is a different version of stalling that isn't stalling. Jeff's ultimate has a range of about 100 meters. So if you come to about like here, this is probably like 100 meters, and ult, they won't hear the ultimate sound go off. So you can use your ult in the same way as stalling, where you hide the audio cue from far away and then move in. Downsides, you need really good game knowledge to be aware of what's going on, or good communication to be aware of what's going on. Upsides, you're not out of the fight for 25 seconds because you're stalling. That's just something I wanted to mention because I don't mention it enough on this channel. I've mentioned it in the Discord and in comments before, but never directly on the channel. You can ult from 100 meters away and the enemy will not hear your ultimate. Even better though, they gave you the ultimate, which nothing feels better than. Nothing feels better than when you ult and you just see them all. They're just there. And instead of dodging it, they give you it for free. They literally throw their ultimates at you. So here you have a Phoenix who can survive the fall, and you have an invisible woman who can survive the fall. technically Emma can survive the fall if she has diamond form, but 99.9% of the time she won't be able to survive the fall. When people say Jeff needs 3 supports, like him to be a third pick, 90% of the time I disagree. The case where you do need that third support, ideally in a perfect world, is when you are in your ultimate and after you've thrown yourself off of a cliff. Because if you throw yourself off of a cliff, you have died. You have died for a good reason, but you have died. So you need to be aware that your team is a support down. It isn't a 3-player swing, it is a 2-player swing. Because I'm assuming you'd spit him out. You both lost 1, and then you kill 2 people. So really, what you want to do here is ideally spit, but I'd understand the dive if you feel it's safer. So you do spit. And then you yeet him right back at the team. You're healing too high up right now. If you look, remember, try and hit as many people as you can. The Groot, you can heal him and hit the enemy right now, which would help build your ult quicker. It's a small thing, but it helps. You're using your bubbles. I'm proud of you. Position a little further back, but it's fine. Like, you're not badly positioned. I just position safer. You've got an Adam as your support, so you need to stay and keep healing. Keep healing. Back off. You were a little slow diving there, but that's just... It is what it is. Heal the Adam. Use your bubbles. Use your bubbles. Use your bubbles! Where? Who is that touching? What the fuck? We come so far and you always let me down, Anna. You always let me down. You hit 3 bubbles again. You were doing so good. Watch. Use your bubble. You get to 3. Your team gets slammed. You're still on 3. Use your bubble. So these panels, it's your job as Jeff to destroy them. Jeff destroys them very quickly. Really quickly. So you should be destroying these because it helps your team. And then you should be throwing your bubbles in towards your team, not towards the corner of the map where nobody is. That's just a small bit of high-level Jeff tech here for you. Generally, you should be healing your team, not the shield that sat off point. It's just a bit of advice. I know, that's some pretty high-elo smart brain thinking right there from your good old pal Raven. Most of you won't get that one. But for those of you that are more intelligent, you might want to take that into your brain and shuffle it about and keep it in there. Heal your team, not the corner of the map. Okay, gamer. Keep going. Shoot the fucking Wolverine. You've got 3 Aqua bursts. I know I said I wasn't going to be mean about the Aqua bursts. I'm so sick of seeing 3 Aqua bursts and people on the edge of death. Look, you can give them the Raven special. Miss them. Miss them. I don't mind. I don't mind if you miss them. But try to fucking shoot them at least. This Wolverine is not only on the edge, but on the edge in 1 hit. Kill him. Or knock him into the pit. I don't care. It'd be funny. Do something other than sit on top of them. Also, your tank's dying. Look at him. Okay. Why? What? Look. Watch. You fire 1. Fine. What are you shooting at? What is this? What? I mean, you've got some fucking pretty good aimbot at least, but like, come on, he's behind 2 walls. It's not even like 1 breakable wall. 1, 2, 3. You destroy a wall, there's another unbreakable wall, and then there's another wall. Why did you wait until he was behind multiple walls to shoot him? A minute ago, look, there's his, so he didn't even have his fucking passive up. If you'd been destroying these walls, you would have already cleaned it up. Look at the fucker. Look at him. Shoot him! He falls into the pit! It would have been really funny! Instead, you miss, your Groot sort of puts a weird wall down that makes everybody's life harder, and then you continue to not shoot him until he starts moving towards cover, and now you start shooting! Look. It's fine. Oh, you're gonna kill him in the end anyway, because he's gonna walk in a straight line at you. No, you're not gonna kill him! What the fuck? Did you just like have a gentleman's handshake and leave? What's going on? Come on! Like, okay, well, I'm sure you didn't have any Aqua bursts at the time to kill him with, right? You know, when he's walking in a straight line at you, you wouldn't have had any of the knockback abilities, right? You know, the shots that do damage and knock people back? You wouldn't have had any of those up. Right? 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 You didn't have any? Like, look at it! You have 2 Aqua bursts. You literally kill him. Just shoot him. Mouse button 2, it says there on here. Shoot him with mouse button 2. Twice. You have 2 chances to hit him. 1 will kill him. 1. One of them. Just shoot him. And then not only that, here, you just leave. You have 3 of them. Oh my god. Maybe this is why people flame Jeffy. Ult to counter it. Good. Good. Swim up the wall. Do you... Anna, genuine question. Do you know how to swim up walls? You hit that wall, and you never even consider swimming up either of them. You reposition out of it to be safe, that's good. Yeah, it is fine. It was a very bronze fight, but you won it, and that's what matters. Your team is doing the thing where they start winning so they overextend. This is fine if you're steamrolling them, but in almost every situation, holding them this far up isn't a good idea. Because if this team was smart, these guys would be in their spawn, just firing at you for free. The better hold angle would either be holding this choke briefly, so you're not overextending for too long, or this choke. Hold here. This is fine, because you're still close enough to point that you're relatively safe if you need to pull back, but you're not at their spawn door. What do you do when you run Jeff on double sup against 2 big DPS ults, like Star-Lord and Punisher? Suffer? There are, like, your main issues. Your positioning isn't anything terrible. Like, you haven't got bronze level positioning. You're not frontlining as Jeff. You weren't kissing the tanks too often. Your positioning was pretty good overall. I would say that your biggest issues that I saw were resource usage. You were using bubbles inconsistently. You weren't using Aqua bursts basically at all. You were panicking, that type of thing. If you focus on using your bubbles more effectively, focus on using your Aqua bursts to apply pressure whilst healing, or to help finish off enemies, you will improve substantially. Look at what they spend most of their game doing. If I skip to different points in this game, you will see a lot of this. Anna spends most of their time healing, exclusively, which is fine and necessary sometimes. But the problem with just healing, and not the, to be clear, not the support role, but just healing in a sandbox, is easy as shit to do. Most people can just heal. The difference between a lower level support and a really good support is the way they use their kits to apply pressure. Jeff's, for example, very high mobility, the ability to pick people off very quickly if they're on mid to low health, the ability to support his team without having to be on top of them, those types of things. You do a lot of what is like bare, just like the default value that any support could get. And the problem with that is that means their supports are also going to be getting that value at least. To climb, you need to find ways to get more value with your hero. There are games where this is what you should be doing, but if this is what you play like every game, you will struggle to have impact, because the other team will also almost always have that amount of impact from their supports. You need to be better than the other team's supports. You need to give your team a leg up, and to do that, it would be things like that Wolverine, killing him, to free up your team to do the other stuff. Bubbling people at the right time so they can speed in. For example, a really, really obvious one is a Punisher ult. You bubble him and you make sure he stays alive. You see a support on half health, which we saw earlier on with the Invisible Woman in round 1. you dive her and you kill her quickly. I don't think you're a terrible, garbage, awful player. I just think you're a player that makes some mistakes and doesn't use resources particularly well. But they're all things you can learn to fix. And you're pretty good overall. Like, you're playing an actively weak character in the first place. But overall, pretty good. Not like you didn't do terrible. Just use your fucking bubbles.